Here's how they were delivered. Box 1, 2, and 3. How do I know? Because it says it right there. Let's get these moved into the garage and then set up. All right, something worth mentioning is this is the 7000 TL, and I think the 5000 and 3500s are a lot easier to maneuver, but these guys are close to 100 pounds per frame, so be prepared for that. First up, 50 psi, charge these cylinders. Cylinders are small. They're preloaded with a lot of psi, but the cylinder's small. They're asking you for a Schrader tool, but if you just stick your finger on it, pretty much releases all the psi, load it back to 50, done. Here's the layout. We have 2 long ones. That connects this pump to each of these rails. You have 2 small ones. These are going to be 2 lines that are connected to these cylinders here. These get connected to the cylinders. Then this is connected to that. These female connectors, quick connectors, are connected to the 4 points of this. And these 2 are going to replace these 2 points right here. This thing connects to here so it can be grabbed. We charge the air here, 50 psi. Now this plug goes away, gets ditched. Connector comes here. Small line gets ran through the back here, hangs out. Connect the 2 lines here. Fill it with fluid, bleed it, run it, test run, bleed it, test run, bleed it, test run. And then once it starts going up and down evenly, we're able to use it. So let's try to get through that step. All right, you guys might not have this tool, but there's a Schrader valve tool that I have. It's from my mechanic days, preset for 4-inch pounds. And so this goes in to the Schrader valve. So in this situation, I can go ahead and just tighten that down, and it's set. It's preset now. Apparently you could use a tire pump, bicycle tire pump. I have a air compressor, so I put it to 50 psi. And I tightened the Schrader valve. I think you'll know from them, but these ones right here, they go in. The instructions say try to put the bottom one in first. Makes sense. There's a lot of stuff on the forums that's saying you shouldn't use this thread sealant. They said use the tape, but there's also people that said you have to let it cure for 24 hours. And if you have let it cure for 24 hours, it won't be an issue. I'm not in a rush. I'm still waiting for my ATF, so let's see. These go on these bigger hoses. So let's try. Now what we have left are cylinder, line, and then these male connectors. Let's do it. Alright, so there's a little clip here. Alright, it says anything with an O-ring, you don't need the sealant. It'll actually give you a sign that says how you want to route it. So we're going to aim this down. These are going to be the individual lines. Oh, and by the way, you don't need that specialty tool for Schrader valve, but it is nice to get a cheap one because mine was loose. It wasn't leaking, but I could have turned it more. This L fitting and this can go on. In the Quickjack video, they don't talk about sealing this, but I'm like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? So we're gonna let that cure for over a day. I'm not gonna get my ATF for a while. So next step is fill it with ATF, connect it all, power, and then bleed this thing, and then this should be it. Something I did off camera was add this handlebar, and you're all set. It definitely needs a handle, so cool. Also under here, yep, I think that is power steering fluid. All right, another thing to fix. Sick. We will now start bleeding. The bleeding, both point at the same direction. We got the hoses connected. We'll connect each line to one of these longer hoses connected to here. Plug this in, fill this up, and then we start the bleeding procedure. Once the bleeding is done, we can do our initial lift on the car, and this car needs it. Oof. I had to take a break because I was waiting on this multi-vehicle ATF. On the website, it actually tells you what type of fluid they want you to put in here. I just got the cheapest thing. This is a gallon of this for, I think it was like 17 bucks. It was a lot cheaper than everything else, and I just made sure it worked on the website. So we're gonna load that up. But first, let's start connecting everything, and then we Gucci. Everything should be dry with the thread sealer. Get it connected. Female, male. You just click it in, and there's a little ball bearing that's a retainer for the sleeve. You just turn it, and then it'll stay. Female to male. So now what we're working on is the bleeding procedure. After that, I'm gonna do my first test lift. All right. Let's plug this in. Let's fill this up. I believe it's like two point something liters. So essentially they said fill it to half an inch below the opening. We have these two blocks here, one smaller than the other. In all the videos I saw, they stacked up two of these thick ones and then one of the small ones. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, so we got it lifted off the ground. I found an Allen. This is not metric, this is like standard. So what do we have here? We have a 3/16 Allen. I have all metric, so just so you know, 3/16. All right, so check it out. I read that this was also an issue, so watch how long it takes me to pump before anything goes. So if this happens to you, this is normal. Oh, it's going. Check this out. I just ass bumped my side view mirror out. Jesus. Here's the actual bleeding procedure. You go up and down, up until the first locks. So before it locks, and then bleed it when it's fully down. Then you go up 2 seconds, crack open the bleeder, and then while it's open, push it forward again, and then crack it closed when the fluid's flowing fine with no air. So I'm gonna crack it back open, and then I'm gonna go up for a second, and then break it down. All right, what we're looking for is for them to rise and fall, I guess, at the same speed. You'll see that they start to rise evenly, but go down. One side was slower than the other. I looked into this, and they said it looks like even in the videos I've called them, going up is way more important than going down. So, because it's going to be dangerous underneath the car. But once it's loaded, it came down fine. All right, so I just found my phone ran out of space. But we got it in. I unplugged, I slid it onto the car for now. I raised it up, raised it down, raised it up, locked it in, shook the car. It felt so solid. I'm actually surprised how solid the car feels now. That's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted Quickjacks. Even though I've worked on cars for years, I never really trusted jack stands. And so the Quickjack is the closest thing to what I'm used to, which is a 4-post lift or 2-post lift. And it's on the first locking position, but it feels so solid. Like, let's take a look underneath. Got our diffuser, our exhaust. Looks dry back here. I can't see the rear end. It's covered by this diffuser, but yeah, like little things like this power steering, like, yeah, now I can take a good look at it. So
I'm really happy with it. I had an issue where it rose up perfectly fine, but it released slowly with no weight. I don't know if that's an issue because I looked into Quickjack's website and the manual and it never specifies even raise, but it doesn't specify uneven lowering. So I think it's all right. Yeah, it's done. This is it. We're done. That was it. That was the procedure. It took me a few days because I was waiting on this ATF, but there it is. Really excited to swap out the wheels, do my parking brake adjustment, check out that leak, start doing a full service on the car. A lot of plans for this guy. So yeah, happy about it. There it is. Oh yeah. And fixing this thing.